In this module, we will explore how to control the flow of our programs based on certain conditions and repeat actions multiple times. We will cover the following themes: conditional statements like if, elif, and else, logical operators like and, or, and not, loops such as for and while loops, break, continue, and pass statements. So as always, first we'll create a new Python file called control flow. Let's talk about conditional statements first. If, elif, and else. Conditional statements allows us to control the flow of execution in our programs based on whether a condition is true or false. We can decide which block of code to run depending on the value of a variable or the outcome of an expression. Let's learn more about if statements. First, let us write a short code and then we'll go through it in details. So we write if condition colon and then code to execute if the condition is true. So here the if statement evaluates an expression or a condition in the first line. If the condition evaluates to true, the code block inside the if statement is executed. If the condition evaluates to false, the code inside the if block is skipped. Now let's take an actual example. So if we have x equals 5, if x greater than 0, then print x is positive. Let's run the script and check the output. As you see, since the condition was true, that is 5 is greater than 0, the controls goes inside the if statement and prints x is positive. This is how we use the if statement. But what happens if x is minus 5? Then x becomes less than 0 and the condition evaluates to false and the print statement is skipped. Let's see it in action. So we change the value of x to minus 5 and run the script. As you see, we do not get any results. In this case, we can use the else statement to tell us that x is negative. Let's see this code. We extend our if statement and add the else statement to it. So after the if statement, we write else colon print x is negative. And now if we run the code for x equals minus 5, we get the result as x is negative. We have seen the cases when x is 5 and x is minus 5. But what if x is 0? We change the value of x to 0 and run the script. As you see, Python prints x is negative, although x is 0, because in the if statement we have the condition that any value of x greater than 0 is positive. This means 0 and numbers less than 0 are negative, although this is incorrect. To correct this, we extend our program again to take x equals 0 into account. We can do this using the elif statement. Between the if and the else statement, we add a new elif statement. This elif statement is another if statement if the previous if statement evaluates to false. So we add the code elif x equals 0 colon and then print x is 0. In this code, we first check if x is greater than 0. If yes, then x is positive is printed and the program exits. If x is not greater than 0, then we check if x is 0. If it is 0, then it prints x is 0 and the program exits before going into the else clause. If x is negative, then the first two conditions are false and the control goes in the else statement and prints x is negative. Let's run the code for x equals 0 and see the results. As you see, x is 0 is printed. This is how we can use if, else and elif statements.